All right, so another show with Luis Andres Marino. He is the superstar of Real Madrid. He is Cristiano Ronaldo's companion, but
Mm,
he'll have to do it without him in the next leg against Barcelona. Luis, Cristiano Ronaldo, mate, he's got a 5 match suspension. One of them will be going towards the second leg of what is it? Like a Super Cup or
that's finished, my friend. We won it.
oh, you've already won it. Oh, there we go. All right. So
And then yes, there's
Ronaldo,
four more matches, like 5 match ban, and the other four apply to the league. Uh, a bit exaggerated, I guess. I've seen things worse for a 5 match ban, but it's just silly. He took his shirt off when he scored that goal in the first leg, and you're always going to
hmm,
get a yellow for that. And then, the second yellow was for diving. Um, I think, a lot of people say, oh, for a red card, it should be more than diving or just a regular foul. But I just, I like Ronaldo, but I mean, he didn't need to do it. I think we were 3-1 up or 2-1 up, and the game was under control. Like I've never seen. It was the first time I saw a stat the other day. It was the first time Real Madrid had more possession. I think it was in the second leg, but whatever. It just tells you the shift you know, in power. But first time we had more possession in an El Clasico since like 2008. Like it's just
gee, that
ridiculous.
that is a statistic. That's like 9 years ago.
Yeah, yeah. It's just. I mean, I felt it right when I was what I kind of knew in these two games that we were going to have possession, but I didn't think it was going to be that. Like it was 60, high 60s to low 30s. It was, yeah, that's not normal from Barcelona teams against any team.
Yeah, that's true, man. Especially because Barcelona traditionally, or not necessarily now, but years past, they were known as like the possession team, like the ability to hang on the ball with like Iniesta, Xavi. Xavi's gone, obviously. That's been a huge loss
Mm.
for Barcelona. You know what though? You mentioned the celebration Ronaldo did. I have to admit, I'm a little bit oblivious to this. So apparently, it's connected to Lionel Messi. I thought it was kind of ridiculous to give him a yellow card
Oh,
for.
but you mean holding up his shirt? No, he got a yellow card for taking it off, not for what he did.
Oh, okay. So why does he get a yellow card for taking it off? Is that similar to every other player?
Yeah, 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 no, any player would get it. It's just seen as disrespectful taking it off. I mean, I wouldn't take off my shirt if I scored a goal. Right? Like I've never, it just never would cross my mind. Like I don't know, I would do something else. But you
Listen,
just need
listen,
to.
Lewis. Lewis, if you had Cristiano Ronaldo's abs, okay, and you had
Yeah,
the pectorials, and he looked ripped, mate. He's like, what is he? Like 32 years old. He's got a model's body. He wants to show it off.
no, yeah, I understand. It's just if you're gonna get a yellow, I understand. If you're gonna get a yellow for it, then I don't know, just do it another time. Like, I just think, I just think that's the rule. Is all I'm saying. You can
Yeah.
agree or disagree with it, but he knows he's gonna get a yellow for it, right? And he got it, and he didn't care at the time because it was only a yellow. But then compared to the penalty Barcelona got, okay, because that's what people are doing, right? Comparing. Probably Ronaldo deserved more penalty, but Suarez dived, and I mean, I'm not being biased. I swear, like he didn't even get touched. Ronaldo got a. It was sort of like it was an act. It was an incident, right? It wasn't on purpose. Like both knees just collided. Like that happens. It's a contact sport.
Yeah.
Uh,
No,
but
I agree, man.
the
The
referee
Luis
saw it as a
Suarez.
dive. Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to say that the Luis Suarez one was ridiculous. Like that was not. that was not a penalty. I mean, Navas, or not Navas, was it Neves, the
No,
goalkeeper?
yeah, Navas. That's the right
Yeah,
pronunciation.
Navas. Yeah, so Navas, he didn't really touch. I mean, Luis Suarez just faked it, and you saw Sergio Ramos come up to Luis Suarez, and Sergio Ramos was in the perfect position to see it. He wasn't involved in the tackle, but he was in the perfect position, and then he just kind of pushed Luis Suarez because like it was just acting, and then he was like on the floor, and oh my god, that penalty was not there. Um, it was
But
such an
that's
act.
yeah, no, no. But that's why people are so mad about Ronaldo getting this match ban and sent off. It's because uh, what Luis Suarez did was worth of a match ban as well, right? I mean, if you do that in England, they're so strict. This all comes down to the country you're playing in, and we're not, compared to England, we could do so much more. But it's like with the Neymar transfer. Like at one point, there were rumors that because the transfers they have to be, all this paperwork and
Mm,
stuff that has to go uh, through the federations and stuff and the governing bodies. And at one point, they were saying, "Oh, the Spanish league isn't going to accept this transfer because allegedly, like all this PSG money is corrupt." Like and it's like it's quite a statement. Like I don't know. So like you're not going to take the money, but I mean the transfer has to go through. It's just you're not going to take the money. No, it's all really weird stuff. I love, as you know, the English Premier League. Just the way it's run. Uh,
mm.
their top teams probably don't have as much talent as Madrid or Barcelona, and Atletico, to give them credit, they've improved a lot as well with Griezmann and Gavi. They have a solid defense in goal. You think of these players as like, how do they keep up? But when you have a coach like Simeone, well, it doesn't surprise me too much because they just work so hard. But yeah, in terms of match bans and all this kind of stuff, I think it should be the same for every European competition. Just a bit more, consistent. Like doesn't matter which country you're playing in, the same rule applies. But look, I think Madrid. We have such a good squad, man. Like honestly, if Ronaldo doesn't play for these 4 games, I don't see it as the end of the world, to be honest.
Nah, because you have replacements there waiting in the wings. Unlike Barcelona, they put Deulofeu as a replacement for Neymar, and there's a little bit lacking there, like that star power. Like you know what I mean. So I reckon
Yeah,
that.
no, and yeah, interestingly for me, I don't know for others, but they it was Paulinho's presentation yesterday,
Mhm.
and mate, he's a good addition, I reckon, to the team because he did well at Tottenham. They got rid of him, I think, just because he was worth value. The thing is, the Chinese market, man. Like, honest, I think he's come from a Chinese club, so it's just that just tells you, if the money they have over there in China as well. But I think he's a good signing for them because I mean to concede 5 goals in 2 legs, it ended 5-1. It was 3-1 at the Camp Nou and 2-0 here at the Bernabeu. And it was just yeah, it's not very typical of El Clasico. It's more even.
Yeah, that's definitely true, man. One thing I wanted to discuss is something connected to our good friend.
Yeah,
So he
worth a
signed.
shout out.
Yeah. Nah, well, Marcus, mate, I mean, I haven't seen him for quite a while. Lewis and I knew him through high school, but Lewis and I want to say congratulations on the signing, mate. Lewis was actually, I think you were the first one, Lewis, to actually send me the article. I was kind of surprised. Like, I knew Marcus was doing some FIFA stuff on YouTube, and I didn't see the esports coming. Um, Marcus Gomez actually played overseas in an esports tournament, and I think he finished 7th or something. But he said he could play a little bit better and was nervous. But that's an exciting signing, isn't it? Melbourne going into signing Marcus, especially.
I mean, it's what I read on an article. It's got like a huge audience already of a few 100 million, a few hundreds of million people already follow this. So no, it just tells you how much he said on an interview, how much more it can still grow. Yeah, then there will be all sorts of opinions. Oh, what kind of sport is this? Because it is called esports, but I think it's a mixture of dedication, obviously. Because I mean, I think I sort of know how he qualified for this because we've all played FIFA, and I remember this game mode, which was Interactive World Cup, and now that he's in London, it's kind of been easier for me to contact him, and spoke to him this morning actually, and that's the last thing I asked him about this, like how he qualified for it. I mean, I'm pretty convinced it was throughout this game mode because I remember trying it, and these messages came up saying, "Oh, the next round of the tournament is in 2 days, right? And you have to play these many games, and you have to get these many wins out of and they that's how they select throughout. I swear throughout months, and that's how they select. How you go through the different rounds, but to have made it to what he has is, yeah, it's just. He has told me, it hasn't sunk in his head. Neither he has in any of our heads, because I mean, I think we all knew he liked FIFA. It's just to have done what he has done is. It's just like so many people play it, dude, and obviously there's a difference between how many people play the game of FIFA and how many people actually dedicate their time, but it's still a lot of people, and to have made it to such a small number at the top is, yeah, it's just hard to believe. And then the contract, but I mean, I guess what's surprising is that Melbourne City have, well, in a way it's surprising, but in a way not so much, because they're part of a, sure, there's a city group with New York City and Man City. So there's a lot of potential. There's a lot of opportunities for him to even grow more, because I heard. I think we did talk about this. Like when Man City bought Melbourne Heart, and it was worth less than Ronaldo. It's definitely worth less than the Neymar transfer. So it just tells you how crazy that transfer was. But I think it's good that bigger clubs. Maybe Melbourne Heart lost a bit of its identity, but at the same time, the people within Melbourne City, they can strive for so much now, because they are linked with Man City and New York City, which isn't a bad partnership. So this applies to Marcus now in the world of esports as well.
Yeah, I think it's just great. I think it's a really unique investment. As you said, Lewis, like esports is really growing. Not just in FIFA, but
No, anything is crazy.
yeah, in other games, yeah. And I like Marcus has always been like a good player. At high school, I saw kind of glimpses of his play. Never kind of stood out to me like clear that, oh, like he's really good. He's gonna do well. But then again, I was an Xbox player and he was a PS4. There's subtle differences when you play with PS4 and Xbox. Well, not
Yeah,
subtle.
well, if anything, now that you mentioned that, that's for me, that's probably the most curious thing about all of this, is that you have to have competitions for both consoles, right? But the demand is just so high that it doesn't seem like they have any problem with it, because the competition is, as we say, growing and getting bigger. But yeah, it's just interesting. Whoever came up with it, it's clearly working. Obviously, FIFA, what else can you do once you've made it to the top? Not just maintain yourself there, right? It's not like, for example, Gran Turismo. Some teams are actually, giving because it's more like it's more like a simulation of an actual drive. So whoever wins that actually gets to be like a testing driver for a team, and it's like Jesus, like it's just yeah. I think it's awesome that they're giving the drivers these opportunities. It's just from their uh, from their point of view is aren't you a little bit worried that these guys have come up through video games and not experience, but the video games must be so realistic and so good nowadays that they've decided to give players a chance.
I think it's
From a
great.
player, yeah, from a player's point of view, you can't complain. That's for sure.
No, and like you said, Lewis, like Marcus, obviously Melbourne City have that connection with Manchester City, and they're renowned for not esports, but their youth academy. So they're building like a really strong youth academy down there, and it shows that City brand, they have a real focus and real energetic focus at that on youth, and I think Marcus has really signed for the right club out of any A-League club.
Yeah, no, Melbourne City is the best club in terms of just because of the partnerships, right? But I think, like I said, in terms of, I mean, Marcus was a good player too, outside video games, but it's Gran Turismo. You would know that game. It's I think that one can actually lead you into a real, real esports is real. I don't want to criticize it or bring it down, but actually become a driver and drive like a real car. FIFA, I don't see where it can lead you in terms of like what do you go from. I mean, he shouldn't even think about where to go from where he is because the world of FIFA is massive, right? So no, I just wish him all the best. He was a good player too, right? Because he played. I didn't get to play with him, but we both played for Ashburton, and we both saw him playing. He was a decent, he was a good player too. Right winger, if I am not mistaken, but wanted to be a lot like Nani.
Oh, he
But,
loves Nanny, man. He's like
yeah.
yeah, that's his favorite player. And yeah, you kind of that right winger kind of models himself a little bit on Nani, perhaps, but
Yeah, a lot. Just the world of video games, I think, has got a lot of potential and a lot of growth still to come. So
yeah, and I
I don't
think
know.
have you seen Marcus play lately? I've seen him on YouTube play against this guy. I forgot the name of the guy he played against on YouTube, but he played really well. Like some of his skills in FIFA, I was like, wow, like you could tell. I think you can agree with this. Like he's definitely had a rate of improvement at FIFA from being a good player like at high school to being like a really great player now. Like he uses his skills in FIFA really well, and he knows how to pick out passes through balls and very acute attention to detail. So compliment to Marcus there. I've watched you play, and I'm impressed. He's definitely got a lot of potential he's only 20, so esports appeals to that male demographic, 20 above 30 even. He's still young in the esports world, even though he finished 7th or he didn't quite make it past the groups or whatever it was lately. I'd just like to say to him that it's a learning experience, man, and he's really good at FIFA. So when you're playing against other video gamers, you're versing other people who are really good. So it's a competition, and sometimes the nerves can get the better of you. I think Marcus even said that himself on Twitter. It'd be interesting, Marcus. I won't say where I live, but Marcus kind of lives almost like not near me, but if I'm not mistaken, like he'd be no more than like a 50-minute drive away.
Go and ask him for an autograph when he gets back.
For an autograph, yeah. Tell him to sign my Melbourne City shirt. Not that I have one. No, but I mean that was cool, man. Like I was watching that Melbourne City video, and he had that shirt and imprinted Marcus.
It's
How
just
do you,
it's just really hard to believe.
yeah,
Like,
how do you communicate with?
yeah, John,